Hello, this is Windows Sonoma, known as macOS 13, 2266 over Xbox Live, and May 26, Christopher on Roblox. For a long time now, I've always wanted to do a tier list video for Battle Minigame on Minecraft Legacy Console Edition. If you don't know what that is, it's basically Hunger Games that 4J Studios have made for Minecraft Legacy Console Edition back in, say, June of 2016. So, yeah. It's very fun. If you have Xbox 360 Edition still, I highly recommend jumping into it. Yeah. For this to work, we will be using the Xbox One and 360 versions of Minecraft, mostly because, well, they're the only console editions that I own. One thing to take note of is that in all console editions, the combat mirrors that of pre-1.9 combat, much like modern-day Bedrock. However, unlike Bedrock Edition, there are some differences. In all console editions that aren't PS4 edition, you are able to block swords by pressing the left trigger on your controller. And also, weapons like the axe are not stronger than the sword, and weapons do not have any cooldown when swung, meaning you can spam the right trigger indefinitely against your opponents. Much like Tumble and Glide, the other two mini-games on console edition, if you are the host of a lobby, you can change the settings of Battle Minigame to however you like. Whether you want it competitive, casual, or just, custom. For this tier list, we will be using the custom preset with the normal loot table. See, if you go into Battle Minigame, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4 or 5 loot tables in all Battle Minigames across all editions. We will be using normal because we want to make it balanced, Next, we will have the inventory size set to small, so that's just basically just your hotbar is your inventory. And then the map size, we're going to set to large, because that's the limit on Xbox 360 Edition. You can go up to large plus on Xbox One and PS4 Edition, but we're not doing that. We will allow 8 players to join our lobby, as opposed to 16, and the time will be set to medium. I will not be allowing skins with custom proportions, i.e. skins that look like this, since those skins have custom hitboxes and would otherwise be very hard to fight against. I will be ranking these weapons and the armor in the order that you hypothetically might obtain them. And notice that I have the crossbow, trident, and shield in their own category. That's because these weapons don't regularly spawn in Battle Minigame, and I will be giving these weapons a hypothetical ranking based on how well they would do in an actual Battle Minigame match. You'll have to wait till the final part in this series for that ranking. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. The wooden sword is a great starting weapon for any Battle Minigame match, and I will be putting it at the bottom of A tier. The wooden sword, on average, will deal 4 hearts of damage when hitting a player normally, and 5.5 hearts when doing a critical hit, if said player was not wearing armor. That doesn't sound right. The wooden sword is put there by the developers in hopes that players could soon upgrade to a better weapon like an iron axe or a stone sword, while not robbing them of a strong, effective weapon that could kill a fully armored player. So, yeah, you can use the stone sword, but it's not very, it's not a good idea to just use the wooden sword. But, you do what you do. But our first utility weapon is up next, the wooden hoe, which I'll be putting in the middle of C tier. The wooden hoe's damage is 0 hearts per damage, which on its own is really bad. Thankfully, 4J Studios have thought about this and gave it Fire Aspect 1 and Sharpness 1, which saves it at D tier. Speaking of which, notice that I don't have an F tier in this. That's because I don't really think any of them, like, even the really bad weapons, they are not really undesirable, except for maybe the sticks. But yeah, so the wooden hoe does 0 damage, but it does full fist critical damage against players and can leave them burning for a few seconds, and would actually pair greatly with another weapon like the wooden sword. So there's some use to using. Our next weapons, I should say, is the Sharpness 2 wooden shovel and Sharpness 1 wooden pickaxe, which I will rank alongside each other in B tier. They do the same amount of damage against players, but the pickaxe does have more durability, killing 1 iron golem and draining 10 hearts from the other, compared to just 1 iron golem and 1 more strike, which is why I have the pickaxe ranked a tad bit higher. There is a non-enchanted version of the wooden pick, but there's really no reason to use it, unless it's the only weapon you have. I'd say it's like at the top of C tier. You can use both enchanted tools effectively, but it's wiser to just use a wooden sword or axe if you got one. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the next weapon is the wooden axe, which is in second place in B tier. The wooden axe does 3 hearts of damage instead of 7 on Java Edition, but hey, it's pre-1.9 combat. What did you expect? That said, it is a better option other than both wooden picks and the enchanted wooden shovel. But then again, the sword exists. But yeah, it's still a good pick for a starter weapon. Just please upgrade when you get something stronger. For both of the leather armors, those being enchanted and regular, I will be putting these at the 3rd to last place of B tier and 2nd place of C tier, respectively, just behind the regular wooden pickaxe. Both are great starting options for armor, but for the enchanted boots specifically, you are granted either Feather Falling 1 to 2 or Depth Strider 2, which reduces your fall damage or lets you move faster underwater. This is especially the case on Xbox. This is especially useful on Xbox One Edition, since that's still using 1.12 water mechanics. So it's pretty good. Actually, I should take this time to say that not all Legacy Editions are on the same update. Xbox One and Nintendo Switch Edition are on 1.12, that is the World of Color update, with PS4 being on 1.14, and every other console edition, those being 360, PS3, Wii U, etc., they're all on 1.13. If you want more information on this topic, I recommend watching Force Play's video on Xbox One Edition getting a very minor update in 2024. With that being said, let's continue with the ranking of the leather armors. The leather chestplate has the chance to come enchanted with Blast Protection 4, which is great, really great against a block of TNT, which I'll be covering later. So stay tuned for that. Going back to that Depth Strider 2, those Depth Strider 2 boots, they're actually really great for maps like Cove and Dig, both of which have small pools of water. And again, Xbox One Edition, it's more useful because, 1.12 water mechanics. Leather pants don't really get any special enchantments, but the helmet does, using Respiration 1, which gives player double the amount of time in water before needing to go back to the surface. So 15 seconds compared to just 28.7 seconds, roughly. To be honest, though, Respiration is only ever useful in Cove, so there's no real reason to use it outside of that particular map. Unenchanted or not, the leather armor, like the wooden sword, is still a great option for any battlers, with the intention that they can upgrade later when looting chests or killing other players for the loot. Now we get to the stone tools, starting with Fire Aspect Stone Sword, which will go in third to last place in S tier. The stone sword, on average, will deal 2 hearts of damage, with some fire damage left over because, it has fire aspect, leaving 4 hearts if left alone. And that's only when you punch normally. When hitting a player critically, or in this case a husk, because but when doing that, it will deal a whopping 5 hearts of damage, bringing it to 5.5 when Fire Aspect does its work. Like, dude, that's insane. But, yeah, I would have had it higher in S tier, but the only things stopping it from going there are fire resistance potions and water, as well as just some better weapons ranked above it. So, our next weapon is technically not a stone tool, but it is the Diamond Sword that has 2 durability, which I will be putting in the middle of A tier. Because the Diamond Sword has 2 durability, it has 2 uses, obviously, which is enough to get a player dead with critical hits before breaking. And that's if it doesn't have any armor. Let's look at this villager on screen. When this villager is wearing iron armor, the Diamond Sword will only deal 2 damage of health per swing, which is not a lot. When I'm doing critical hits, however, I can deal up to 5.5 hearts of damage, which is pretty good. Again, I would have ranked this higher, but since the Diamond Sword only has 2 uses before it breaks, I'll be putting it in the middle of A tier. Our next item is the Stone Axe, and because this is using the same combat as before 1.9, I'll be putting it on par with the wooden sword in A tier, only slightly higher because it has more durability. It takes about 4 iron golems, plus a little extra, to break 1 stone axe, and that's only when you don't use critical hits. Comparing that with a wooden sword from earlier, it takes about 2.04 iron golems to break a wooden sword. But if we're being realistic, durability doesn't really matter in battle minigame, unless it's too late. So, I mean, if you see a stone axe, go for it. It's gonna be the same as a wooden sword, but whatever. Our next stone-based weapon is the Fire Aspect Stone Shovel, which I will be putting above the enchanted wooden pickaxe in B tier. The shovel on its own deals 1.5 hearts of damage when hitting normally, and 2 hearts of damage when performing a critical hit. Fortunately, however, this has been enchanted with Fire Aspect, meaning it can leave 1/2 a heart or even 1.5 hearts more damage when left alone. This is great when paired with another weapon, but then again, the stone sword also has fire aspect, so unless you're still running around with a wooden sword as your primary, it's better to discard the shovel and move on. Chainmail armor is next up on our list, and I'll be putting it in last place in B tier. Pretty harsh, but let me explain. When putting a villager against a stone axe, it takes around 4 to 7 swings to kill a full chainmail villager, depending on if you're spam clicking, or dealing damage in beats, if that makes sense. However, it does take just 4 swings to do the same amount of damage, so make of that as you will. And overall, while it might not have enchanted versions, the chainmail armor is still a pretty good pick to use against players if you're a pinch. So, there's that. And that's going to be it for this video. Yeah, so I didn't really feel like doing, like, all battle minigame items in one video. Mostly because, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. So the next part will be focusing on the iron tools and armor, as well as the, okay, I did pick them up, as well as the diamond tools and, I don't know, probably some of the special items, but that's just my plan for now. It could change, but yeah. So, sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. It's very hard. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, so, yeah, go follow me on my YouTube channel, Window Sonoma. Should pop up on the screen. And, yeah, if you like my content on DailyMotion, then, go ahead and follow me there too. So, yeah, if for the future, I do want to get, like, Xbox 360 edition footage of Battle Minigame, because, well, of course I do. But right now that is not possible because I don't have a capture card, so I'm gonna wait until Christmas in order to do that. So, hopefully enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video around with your friends, yeah? Alright, see you guys.